Is at the movies this weekend. Perfect weekend for it. It is hot.
Yeah, it's hot. Michael's
hot.
here going to review Lion King and the Art of Self-Defense.
Yes, let's talk about The Lion King first.
Yes.
This, of course, is a remake of the 1994 classic, but this one it's a so-called live action. Now, of course, it's not real lions who talk or anything like that, but it's very CGI to give it a realistic feel. If you've seen the original, you know the basic plot line. Simba plays the young cub who is going to be king. There you see right there, that's Scar. He's the brother of Mufasa, who wants to take the throne himself and comes up with a plot to, look, if you know the story, to get rid of Mufasa and eventually drive Simba away so he can take over the Pride and be the king of the Pride land. The actors in this movie, you have Donald Glover as Simba, you have Beyonce, you have John Oliver, Seth Rogen as Pumbaa, and Billy Eichner as Timon. All do, I think, fantastic in their voicing of their characters. I have a unique perspective, I think, on The Lion King because I never saw the original. So
You're the only person.
Which is bizarre.
It's crazy. It came out when I was an adult, and I just missed it. So when I came to this movie, I don't have that constant comparison of the two.
Yeah.
I view this as a standalone film, and if you see this movie, I encourage you to do the same and not compare the two. But for me, this movie was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed the majesty of the Pride Land. The characters I thought were well done. One criticism I have: the animals didn't quite have enough emotion for me, especially when they were doing very emotional things, and when they sang the classic "Can You Feel the Love Tonight?" It was during the day, so it's kind of like it's for the night. So
details,
little details.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think it's a fun family film. I think if you don't do the constant comparison between the original and this one, I think you'll enjoy it. There are some scenes of violence, of course. It's a dark story, but I give this movie an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, that's pretty
I am so excited to see it now.
Now you need to go back and watch the...
Yeah, now I'm going to go back and see the original, so to see what all the fuss was about.
It's a big fuss.
For 25 years.
For the record, big fuss.
Now, the next movie to talk about is called The Art of Self-Defense. This is a small independent film. There you see Jesse Eisenberg. He is a kind of a nebbish man, works in an office. He gets mugged by a motorcycle gang and decides he wants to learn how to defend himself, so he joins a dojo. There you see, I think it's Alessandro Novello as the kind of the cool, hip sensei of this dojo. He's a very quiet man, Jesse Eisenberg, and he wants to become what intimidates him. So he tries to learn how to fight, and there's some twists in this movie that I will not give away, but that are very fantastic. It's a very dark comedy there. Imogene Potts is also one of the students at this dojo. But Jesse Eisenberg was born to play this role with, quiet fury. I thoroughly enjoyed it in terms of the dark comedy. It could be brutally violent at times, so that's one thing to keep in mind. But I really enjoyed this film, which is also why I give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Wow,
so you have two different movies. If you don't want to be in the big crowd of The Lion King, which I'm sure will have a major opening, I think The Art of Self-Defense is a nice independent film to watch if you like dark comedies.
It's not common that you give both of them high scores. You usually got a 4, one's 8 or 9.
Sometimes it just happens this weekend. We got two. Good for the viewers. You got two good choices.
You had a good night last night, didn't you?
Exactly.
Awesome. We'll be right back after this break.